Okay. I think it's like 25 questions. Is that long? I don't know. Okay. All right, so we're taking a look at sodium reacting with chlorine to produce sodium chloride. So we're going to start with the equation, which is Na plus Cl2 is giving us NaCl. All right. So to balance it, I can see my chlorines are off. So by putting a 2 there, it fixes the chlorines. Now there's 2 sodiums. So by putting a 2 here, it fixes the sodiums. A 2:1 to 2 mole ratio. Now, as I look at the problem, there's some numbers here. All right. It talks about the number 3.2 moles of chlorine. And it also talks about the number 201.42 grams of sodium chloride. And it wants to know what is the percent yield. Now remember, one of these values, if we haven't done a lab, must be the actual yield. Right? Because the actual yield is a given value if you haven't done a lab. So if I read the question very carefully, it says that this number was produced by somebody else that did the lab. Therefore, the number that was produced is the actual yield. All right? So the actual yield, therefore, is going to be this guy here, and I am not going to do anything with him. This number, therefore, is going to be the given value that the scientist in the lab started with, and I can find out what he should have made, theoretically, using stoichiometry. So if I convert chlorine to NaCl in this equation, I can find out what the scientist should have got. Therefore, I can find out what his percentage is. So I can take my 3.2 moles of Cl2 and let's find out how many grams of NaCl we should have made. So I already have moles of given, which is great news. I can go directly from moles of given to moles of unknown, but the scientist reported it in grams, so I then need to go to grams of unknown so I can do a direct comparison. I'm going to make my diagonals correct. Moles is over moles, that's coefficients, always. The NaCl coefficient is 2. The chlorine coefficient is 1. Grams and moles is 1 to periodic table. So now I need the periodic table of NaCl. For Na, it's 22.99. And for Cl, it's 35.45, which will give me a molar mass of 58.44. If I run the grid, I'll get 3.2 times 2 times 58.44 will give me a total of 374.02. Oh, sorry. We want to divide that by 1 times 1. Of course, it won't change the number. So 374.02 grams NaCl is what they should have got, right? So we call this a theoretical yield. My equation to find the percent yield is the actual divided by the theoretical times 100. So it would be 201.42 divided by 374.02 times 100. and I get 53.85%. Which means they did a terrible job because they only got a little above half of what they were supposed to.